In a major way. Nice clothes, nice cars, nice clothes, nice
All right,
cars.
everyone, welcome back. This is episode 4 of 100% Trustworthy Financial Advice, not financial advice. Today, we're going to talk about taxes and some of the fun little things you need to know about taxes. And today, I'm joined with my boy Jack. He knows stuff about taxes. He's an expert consultant. How's it going today, Jack?
I'm good. How are you doing, John?
I'm thrilled to be here. Tax
Having
season,
beer too.
yeah, tax season I feel like just passed us, so we're kind of a
Yeah.
little late to the party, but that's
Mhm.
kind of where you want to be. You always want to file late. That's number one
Right.
tip is make sure you're
Uh,
filing late because
Or
you'll be at the
as
top
late
of the
as
list.
possible.
You'll
Yeah.
be at the top of the list. That's how
And the
that
government
works.
will just be so eager to help you
They'll have
out.
their eye out for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
It's
looking for you.
important.
Yeah.
Our government always is looking out for us.
Never have they ever not looked out for our best interests.
No.
Which is especially prevalent in taxes. Our tax money is well spent, I would say.
Yeah, I
Would
think so.
you would agree with that?
Yeah, I sometimes I think that there should be like maybe a little more like influence with like the everyday person on like how the government spends their money.
Yeah, I think that's a
But
bunch of nonsense, Jack.
really,
Yeah, I don't think the average individual should have any say in government.
well,
But
maybe
that's
if
just my
like
personal opinion.
I was just thinking like maybe if there was like a proxy for someone to like have their opinions voiced,
Mm, yes.
something like along those lines, but you know.
Yeah, yeah. One thing I will say about taxes, though, I feel like we do a poor job of spending taxes on education. I feel like there's a lot of pitfalls of the educational
I
system.
I think that translates right into the lack of education in high school around personal finance and paying taxes.
Exactly. I feel that exactly. I feel like a lot of people complain about there not being like
Uh-huh.
tax classes in high school.
Yeah.
But me and you had the luxury of attending the same high school, and
Mhm.
there was a personal finance class. One could call it
Right.
a tax class, and
Yeah.
I think no one ever paid attention to that class. I think the
I,
final assignment for that class was building a house of cards.
it might have
I'm
been.
pretty sure that was the final for that class.
Wasn't the teacher like some ex-Wall Street guy who like got fired for committing fraud? He's a veteran of the financial services industry with
E-
over 15 years of NASDAQ and foreign exchange. Oh, dude, he was a Forex guy. Dude,
Exactly.
the
He was
smartest people I know are Forex people.
Forex is where the brightest minds congregate. But like I said, these dumbass kids, they just have no interest in learning. And to be fair, taxes are boring as hell.
Oh my God.
But yeah, there's not a lot of interest on behalf of students. Like I said, because taxes are boring. And that's why I think there's a big push, for people to do their own taxes to kind of take back agency in the tax world, not just let big companies like TurboTax and H&R Block do it for you. But I, for one, think that those companies are great.
Yeah, I feel like they really streamline the process of um, knowing what your income is and how much you owe. And like, I feel like a lot of people would be lost without those tools.
And you only had to pay like 79.99 to use
Right.
the
I mean,
service. I mean, it's
and you
not
get
even
money
that much
back
money.
anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They're getting you money back.
right.
Well,
But I
how are
think
all these
that's a
taxes getting?
lot.
Is it computers? Is it computers that are doing these taxes?
I don't know. I think you get like your own personal representatives at
Yeah.
the TurboTax ad.
I think that is what's going on over there. Yeah, I think every person has their own like personal guy.
That
It's
I could
it's
see
got
like
to be a hell of an overhead at TurboTax.
it probably would be. Yeah.
Um,
But I just from my experience, I think that there is a lot of computing involved. Even like ChatGPT will be interesting to see where that pans out for filing. So
yeah, I think that we could definitely see a lot of like ChatGPT integration with the tax sector. I feel like that's one of those things where it's just numbers, right? And computers are good with the numbers, right?
yeah, and I
That's
think
yeah.
there's something to be said for like the legal strides that ChatGPT has been making.
You
Um,
know who else is good with computers? The young.
yes.
Yes, the young are the young. I feel like have the are
Young.
The youth are imbued with the entrepreneurial spirit that
I would agree with that.
I think is being diminished in America, which is really tragic.
Yeah, I think
Um,
that growing up,
and one thing I would say why it's being diminished is because of these goddamn taxes all over
yeah,
the place,
yeah,
just
very true.
suffocating businesses. That's why I hate having to do reports,
Uh-huh.
receipts, all that. That's why we like to stick with cash. If
Cash.
you're gonna
Yeah,
be
I'm a
running a
big fan of
business out
cash
of a
businesses.
big fan of cash business, and
Uh,
cash is not just a form of currency, but it's also really a state of mind.
Yeah,
So could we run through the bullet points of what cash really stands for?
yeah. So I think that
Number
cash
one,
is
C,
C, certified.
certified.
When
Hmm.
you're operating cash business, it's really important that you have all your ducks in a row.
Hmm.
You're crossing your T's and dotting your I's, and
Your P's and
um,
Q's,
yeah,
exactly. Okay,
yeah,
now the second letter, A. Aggression, right? You always want to pursue leads and opportunities. Opportunity comes knocking, you always got to answer the door, all right? You got to be on top of it, all
yeah.
right?
Not taking no for an answer.
Exactly.
Really
Not
expanding upon the market share that you have existing, and
just breathing down people's necks every day, knocking
mm,
a new door.
exactly. That I feel like that leads us right into our S of
Yeah, and
stealing
because
market share.
if they're not answering the door, you're knocking down that goddamn
Right.
door and you're stealing. That's the third letter
Yeah.
of our cash business is S,
I feel like that's the most
stealing.
passionate leather
Hmm.
that we have.
And we're not encouraging crime.
No,
To be
oh no,
clear, no,
no,
it's
no.
not crime we're talking about. That was the original C in cash, but we had to
Yeah,
finagle that one because
yeah,
it
we
faced a lot of
rewrote it.
lawsuits.
Yeah.
A lot of mail.
A lot
But
of
yeah, so
mail.
stealing is again not necessarily the act of stealing, but it is the mentality of stealing,
Mhm.
doing whatever it takes, real Machiavellian, and
Right.
Rand type of thinking, whatever it
Yeah.
takes.
And then that transitions right into the H.
Which is almost exactly the same thing as the S, which is
Yeah.
hustling.
hmm And it's just every day you got to be getting after it.
Mhm.
Again, not
Grind.
taking no for an answer, grinding, not letting people talk down upon you or your hustle, just gotta
And like
after
just
it.
kind of making it up as you go along, faking
hmm
it until you make it. That's a big part of the cash money mentality, the cash business mentality,
Yeah.
is just faking it until you make it.
Yeah. So again, I feel like the taxes is just really squandering the opportunity for young entrepreneurs to, have cash businesses.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, cash businesses are the lifeblood of the Italian American, community.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
to honest, one could say it's anti-Italian discrimination to use
For
credit cards. Or to use credit cards legitimately. Abusing credit cards is very Italian American.
yeah.
But yeah,
Was that
you only
7-year rule or whatever?
yeah, 7 years it all gets wiped out. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's just a loophole. No one knows about it.
It's crazy.
I'm $4,500 in credit card debt. No one even
Yeah.
knows. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I stopped looking at the mail.
Yeah. Hey man, if the piece of plastic works, it works.
That's what I'm saying. Oh, this one was denied. I have more. Don't
I
worry.
have another one. Just keep
I
going.
was pre-approved. I
Yeah.
got a letter in the mail.
Yeah.
And that's something that we talk about a lot is just like letters coming in the mail. Those are opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny little opportunities popping up all over the place. This is a
Yeah.
funny one. Remember I got a letter in the mail. I quit my job at Target
hmm
years ago. I just walked away, never picked up my last paycheck.
Yeah.
And about a year ago, I get a letter in the mail. I think his name was like Samuel Feinstein or something like that.
Okay.
And he was like an unclaimed property, like I don't know what the hell agent, bounty hunter, I guess. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what it was. But anyway, he's like, hey, you have unclaimed property, and I'll get 20%, but you'll get the rest of it. This property's yours. And it was nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got the $228 from Target that I was supposed to get. He got 20%, which is like $40, which
Yeah.
is
Hey.
that's an effective use of your time, is going
I
through
would say
unclaimed
so.
property. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
the
think
best
that
part about it, what's the best part about unclaimed property, Jack?
that it's there for the taking.
Mhm.
Should
Well,
incentivize you
that's
to steal.
close. It's not taxable.
Oh, it's not taxable.
Yes, there it is.
Yeah. So I
Uh,
guess to circle
yes.
back, I think that should really incentivize you if you're listening to start claiming unclaimed property, you know.
Yes.
And
And
that ties in well with the found cash example. When you find cash, It's not taxable either.
Yeah, a lot of my customers tend to lose cash in my
Really?
businesses. Yeah, it's funny. They
Yeah.
just keep dropping cash. I was like, no, you can just that one's on the house, but if you happen to drop, a couple of 20s by the door on your way out, that'd be cool.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's found
Finders
cash.
keepers. Yeah.
Finders
Yeah.
keepers.
Yeah.
Big believer in finders keepers.
Yeah.
And also you got to think of like creative ways to have unclaimed property.
Right.
There's creative opportunities.
I feel like, lots of businesses, while they might own something, it may not be claimed, right? Are they actively
Exactly.
using it?
They
Do
do they
they
have the deed?
do they have the
Like that
deed?
pallet of water bottles sitting outside of the grocery store. Do they really have the paperwork to show that they own
Right.
that? Or can I just come in at night and pick that up?
Right.
And
I mean, probably could.
yeah, you definitely could. They don't lock it up, they don't put it
Yeah.
away.
Which I mean just goes to show how little they value it and
Right.
how it's not claimed. There should be some active, defense, maybe like drones or something patrolling, but
I'd
yeah,
like to see that. We'd need more cameras, more surveillance in
I would say
general.
so.
You can't trust people. Evil people out there looking to abuse the system.
Yeah.
Couldn't be me.
Could not be me.
No.
But yeah, I guess maybe the transition from the unclaimed property in terms of education, student loans is a big issue, hot button issue in
Yeah,
the news.
that's people coming out of college is my target demographic for this
Oh,
podcast, believe it
oh
or
yeah, that
not, is
makes
people
sense.
just getting started with life. And yes, student loans can certainly be a burden and a bummer. And I'm a big believer in just not paying them at all and just
Mhm.
ignoring those phone calls, but I understand that not everyone is willing to just, sit and
Sacrifice their voicemail box.
their credit score. I'm cool with not
Yeah,
having a credit score till I'm 29. Like I've kind of come
that's
around to
fair.
that idea.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I'm cool with that. Although you can't hide from student loans even when you go bankrupt, which is a wrinkle there that they like to throw into you, which
Yeah.
is I'm going to have to figure out how to consolidate that. I think
Yeah.
I might just get more credit cards to pay off the student loans because
I think that's a great plan.
you can kind of finagle that
Yeah,
situation.
I believe that's called like a special purpose vehicle, like just transferring the debt to something else.
That's exactly what that's called, the special
Yeah.
purpose. I'm pretty sure SoFi, the bank.
Yes.
I'm pretty
Uh-huh.
sure that's all they do.
Really?
Yeah, that's like all that
Wow.
they did like 10 years ago is take people's student loan debt and convert it into like regular debt.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now they own the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh yeah,
Just the
SoFi
stadium, not
Stadium.
they don't own
Yeah,
the
they own
team.
that. That would
That's
be
the
weird.
Cronkies.
Yeah,
They own.
it's a funny name.
Yeah, where does that come from?
I don't know.
Cronky.
Cronky. Could look it up.
It could be like shortened or something. Who knows? But yeah, no, what were we talking about?
I don't know. Taxes,
Oh,
education,
student loans. Yeah. So
student
actually, there is
loans.
a
Yeah.
thing that you can do. One thing that you legitimately can do is you pay interest on student loans. You pay like a shit ton of interest on student
Yeah.
loans, and you can actually write off a lot of that interest. I forget the
Yeah.
exact
I
amount.
think up to like $2,500 a
It
year.
$2,500 a year. That sounds right, and it's the 1098E. I think you
Yeah.
have to get it from the your loan,
Hmm.
the person who you owe the money to,
Yeah.
but they have to give it to you. It's a tax form. They can't just be like, nah, you're
Yeah,
not
it's
gonna
it's
get
required.
that. Nah, come on, you're
Yeah.
not allowed to have that.
And I
So
think
yeah,
it's especially noteworthy to point out that paying off the interest first, especially when you're younger, goes a lot farther than paying off the principal, because
I did not even know that. You guys
the
talk
uh
about that a little bit.
the when it comes to like your loan and like obviously as or hopefully as you progress through your career, you'll have more money. So your money means more to you now than it does in like 20 years, let's say. So being able to write off the $2,500 of taxes while also simultaneously paying off your student loans gives you more uh it's you're better off because of it. Because you could just pay it off like in normal turn, but you can't write off the payments on the principal. You can
Oh
only
yeah.
write off the interest. So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the interest is what really kills you with student loans. You just kind of get trapped into this never-ending snare, this
Yeah.
Kafkaesque dynamic with your student loan
Right.
aggregators, you know.
Right. No, I agree. And I think that maybe a lot in society has to shift um, in order to get away from that. I feel at
We,
least I
we
can speak for
yeah.
myself. I felt forced to go to college. There's not really that many other options.
There needs to be like a large shift, I feel like, wouldn't
Yeah,
you say?
probably a paradigm shift.
I think like a paradigm shift really needs to take place for all these dumbass kids to stop going to college.
Yeah,
Like
and
me, I I love my degree in communications. So, but
I
yeah,
feel
there's a
like
lot
you're a
of,
good communicator now, post
yeah, I'm not
college.
like sweaty or clammy or anything. I don't come off as a creep.
Yeah,
It's
that
definitely
new
not.
haircut. Yeah,
Yeah, a haircut is everything. It's like a toothpick. I've said this in one of my previous episodes, but a toothpick can change everything for a man.
I would
Uh,
agree with that.
yes.
Yeah,
I feel like people think that college is the gateway to like a windfall of cash in the future, but meanwhile they just use ChatGPT to go through it all, and then they get out of college and they're paying,
it's like, well,
3,700 a month in
in
loans.
loans.
I don't know how much money I actually should probably check how much money I owe.
Yeah,
I
but
don't like to think about that.
no, I think that the introduction of artificial intelligence in education, and like a lot of people don't know, a lot of professors don't really know how to identify it or how to incorporate it in a way that is helpful, and I think it really it sets a lot of kids back. Again, it's the same thing. Like it's still boring. If class is boring, you're not going to pay attention, just like tax class in high school.
This is the point I think we're making here is that it's all the children's fault, right?
It
Like
is. Yeah,
they don't
it's
those damn kids don't pay attention in
it's that
class.
damn phone. I
Honest to
think
God, it might be that damn phone.
it might be. I
Like
think,
I was, yeah,
yeah,
go
I
off
think
son.
my favorite classes have been where they like don't let you use
Mhm.
technology. It's
Yeah, my
just you and your
classes
notebook.
are always tiny, and if you're on your phone, like clearly laughing at some nonsense that was sent to someone, there's a lot smaller chance of getting away with that. But yeah,
Yeah,
I was really gobsmacked when I saw the degree to which people use chat, WeebiB.
yeah, I think that do you guys use Canvas at all?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, like the discussion posts. Not that that was any like groundbreaking assignment to do in the past, but
Those
it has been
discussion posts were the
completely
lifeblood of the
it
modern education
it's
system.
crazy, and it's like completely ruined because of Chat GBB. And
Yeah.
just yeah,
Hmm.
but uh,
I feel like these struggles with things like student loans and with taxes are why people tend to take like these wild swings. I feel like we see the rise in gambling,
mm,
particularly prevalent in our generation.
absolutely, I think
I feel like every night I find myself betting on, the fucking Knicks,
yeah,
Sixers, just waiting for the divine wind to blow my way. But
it's just so accessible.
I've lost so much money. I was good with it. Like, a couple years ago, I lost like over $1,000. I was like, I had to put the pipe down, so to
Yeah,
speak.
so to
Uh,
speak.
but yeah, I had to put that down for a little bit. But then this year, I was like, I think I got to figure it out because I bet on the Lakers Pelicans game.
Okay.
Lakers were underdogs by a point. So I was like, oh,
Mhm.
dude, they're gonna win that game. So I placed
Right.
a
They got
$30
LeBron
bet.
James, right? He plays for
Yeah.
them.
Placed
Yeah.
a he does play for them. That's good that you know that.
Mhm.
Uh so I placed like a $30 bet and I won like 28 bucks because they did win. I was like, well, I know how to gamble on sports again,
Yeah.
clearly. And
Uh,
I've lost every bet since. I've lost like $250. So
there you go. Yeah.
and that
I,
was a week ago that
yeah.
game happened. So I've made a lot of good progress,
Well,
last
next
10
time you
days.
win big, you can write
Mhm.
off those losses for
Is
gambling.
that how that works? I think you can just write off your gambling losses. I think I read
That
that
might
somewhere.
be. Yeah, I think I read that somewhere
I think
too.
that's why people buy scratch off tickets at the like
Yes.
respectable people, like clean
Right.
cut people, and you're like, oh, this guy's got a good head on his shoulders. He's like, oh, he's got his
The
cup holder and
nickel.
his Lexus
Yeah.
is filled with fucking scratch off tickets.
And
What's
like the
going on,
dust.
pal?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got
Like,
like gray fingertips because he keeps on scratching.
yeah, he's just hacks aware, I think. Is
Can I point out how ridiculous of a phrase keep on scratching is? First,
scratch
like
that
gambling,
itch.
yes.
Yes.
It's like,
It's
are we not trying to conjure up images of junkies like
Yeah, I know.
scratching the hell out of themselves.
It really is an
Good
addiction,
Lord.
man. People
Yeah.
get hooked.
That charming ass groundhog,
Yeah.
Gus.
Gus? Yeah.
Ain't never
Benefits
been a
older
good motherfucker named
Pennsylvanians
Gus in
every
the
day.
world.
No, honestly,
Not
there
a
hasn't
single
been.
one.
Yeah,
All demons.
for real.
It's nothing personal. It's just,
No,
your
no, it's
parents
just
cursed you.
yeah,
I was named John. You know how many people named John there are?
a lot.
Yeah.
I would
Uh,
say a lot. Well, yeah, it's just a
John
strong,
Wilkes
difficult name.
Booth,
Yeah.
John Hinckley. A lot of motherfuckers named John like to shoot the president.
Are you alluding to something?
No, I'm just saying. I just noticed that John Hinckley and John Wilkes Booth. It's the first two that came to my mind. Uh,
Famous Johns.
yeah, there's so many famous Johns
Yeah.
dude, I was thinking of.
John
Uh,
Cena.
he did not shoot the president.
No.
So, all right.
All
Well,
right.
thank you for joining me today,
It was a pleasure, honestly. I hope I
Jack.
could lend some wisdom to
I think you
all of
provide
you.
a lot of insight on the topic of taxes and student loans.
Yeah,
I feel like your
it's
unique perspective as someone who's actually done a phenomenal job of managing their finances throughout college. And I did not do. Well, you did a phenomenal job because you just never paid taxes on your income growing
right.
up.
Yeah,
Because you
pretty
just had a lot of
much.
extra money.
Yeah.
But like I said, hey, killers kill,
Yeah.
hustlers hustle.
Shooter
Me and you were
shoot.
both about that cash business. Let's
Always.
run through the. Let's run through one
Cash
more time.
the cash business.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Certified,
Certified.
aggressive,
If
stealing,
stealing,
and hustling.
hustling.
I
I
mean,
really
come on.
think that those
I think
are
that summarizes it all up.
yeah.
Get
Uh
out there and get after it.
amen.